What's going on YouTube? This is KicksArt here to show you guys how to draw the curry 4 step by step. As usual, we're going to go ahead and start off by drawing two squares right next to each other. Afterward, we're going to divide the two squares into top and bottom halves. Next, we're going to add a vertical line on the bottom right hand quadrant, dividing it into halves, as well as a vertical line on the initial left box. Afterward, we're going to add one more horizontal line dividing the bottom quadrants into halves. This will give us all the guidelines we need to draw out the rest of the shoe. As usual, notice where I put my lines in relation to where the guidelines are, and especially notice how we extend past that top left hand quadrant. The shoe is a medium high top shoe, and the two boxes are a good setup for low top shoes, but it's a lot easier to have an idea of how to set up the proportions if we make boxes first, as opposed to having like a rectangle and a square or some other crazy stuff. As always, you want to use that last horizontal line that we placed as a good guideline and reference for where you should place your outsole lines. Now I'm going to go through and start to flesh out a little bit more of the upper. Afterward, I'm going to go through and start to add the laces. Again, notice where I put the laces in relation to where the guidelines are. Then I'm going to add a few more details in the heel and the toe, and you are pretty much done. As usual, the rest of the video is going to be me going through the outline with the black micron marker. And especially with this drawing, I want you to notice how the lines that I've already placed are not exactly perfect. All I really care about from this point on is to make sure that I go through and I give it the appropriate detail that it needs. The initial drawing stages is just so I can see where the proportions are and to make sure everything is in the right spot. Now if you look at the SC logo on the bottom midsole, you're going to notice that it doesn't exactly look like the SC logo, which is true, but for me, I know that that's a good baseline for me to go off of. So when I go over it with the micron marker, I can get it pretty close to how the logo looks. If you were actually drawing this yourself, you might want to spend a little more time making sure that logo looks more correct. But if you want to get a general idea for how it looks, you want to have like a tilted rectangle, divide that into half so that way you have two squares, and then from there you just want to get some basic lines going to get that SC shape. For some of you, the SC logo might be a little bit tricky. The best thing I can do to say to draw the SC logo properly is to actually look at the logo, study it, and see where a lot of the lines are even. So for the top of the S and the top of the C, it's basically a straight line besides the fact that they kind of dip in towards the center. And then you're going to notice that the inside lines kind of match up pretty clear. It just has those weird edges at the end that kind of curve in and out. So with a little bit of practice, you should get it looking good. But if it's a little too complicated, just put your own logo. You can have your own custom colorway. You can put your own initials in there, your own logo, do whatever you want. This is your drawing. You can do it how you want it. Now, over the course of the weekend, I want to go through and I want to update the site with all the stencils that I don't already have there. If you look back at some of my other how to draw videos that I did a few years ago, some of those stencils are not on the site. So I want to go through and make sure they're all updated. I also want to go through this weekend and make sure that the site is kind of revamped, so that way it looks a little cleaner, has more of my style. And then my goal for the following week is to go through and start to learn and use some of the assets that I've gotten from NBA Playmakers. More particularly, I want to start working on some of the SEO of my channel, making sure that my videos are ranking appropriately. I don't know if anybody here knows Roberto Blake, but he has been one of my biggest inspirations for YouTube. He is a creative entrepreneur. He does a lot of different types of videos, from how to grow a YouTube channel, how to make passive income online. He does a lot of photography videos, editing videos, graphic design videos. If you are creative in any sense of the word, you should definitely go check out his channel. I will leave a link down in the description. But he had a live stream today, and what he does in some of his live streams is he'll do super chat reviews. So how that works is if you donate a certain amount of money, usually $10 or more, he is probably going to review your channel on live stream, in which case he goes through your channel, he sees what you're doing, and he gives you tips on how you can improve. A lot of the time it's tips based on your thumbnails and your titles and your descriptions. And he reviewed my channel, and I'm also going to include the timestamp of when he did it. But he left me some pretty good marks. He said I was doing great, and it's always good to know that I'm doing the right things. So I was hyped that he reviewed my channel. If you want to go check it out, I'll leave the link to that in the description. Now tomorrow is going to be a very interesting video, so I'm not going to take any requests for tomorrow's video because it's basically already done. So you'll have to stay tuned for that. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy this content, leave a like, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.